Hi everyone and welcome to this video. Today we'll be making a fairly easy wrap top. For this project you will need 1.5 meters of fabric. I'm using rayon, but you could also use like cotton or polyester. You will need some yarn, an iron and an iron board, and of course your basics like scissors and pins and threads. You can download the pattern for free on my blog. I will put the link in the description box below. Just remember when you're printing the pattern out to use the scale to set the scale at 100% so the pages will align. And when you're taping the pages together, this is what the big square should look like. But if you didn't rearrange them when you took them out of the printer, they are in order. So it's very easy.
Then cut out the pieces and place and cut them out again, but on the fabric, to end up with these 4 pieces.
These two consisting of 2 layers that are mirrored. This one which is cut on a fold, and this one that is also cut on a fold but 2 times.
When I say on a fold, this is what I mean. We're going to begin with the 2 rectangle pieces, which are going to be the 2 long pieces of fabric which will wrap around the waist. These 2 pieces of fabric will follow the same steps as I usually follow when I'm making straps. So I got my yarn and I'll place a piece of the yarn in the middle of the fabric. I then fold the fabric over the yarn, whereafter I pin the edges together. Note that at both of the ends, a piece of yarn is sticking out. One of the ends will become like a triangle, so I already pinned this accordingly. So just do the same for the other piece of fabric. Then we are going to sew along this pinned edge. I first do this with a straight stitch
And afterwards with a zigzag stitch.
While I'm sewing, I'm making sure that the yarn stays on the left side so it doesn't get caught in between the stitches.
So I'm now just finishing the edge with a zigzag stitch.
So now that we've done the sewing, you can cut off the little triangle. And we're going to turn this piece inside out by gently pulling the thread while loosely holding the other end. This way you can sort of guide the fabric inwards. And just do the same for the other piece. Then I'm going to iron the tubes as I've named them now. I'm just going to iron them flat because I don't like them being like that round. Okay, so we're just going to set those aside for now and move on to the bodice. We'll need both of these pieces because we're going to sew them together. Get rid of the pins, fold the back piece open and lay it with the good side facing us. Now just remove the pins from the front piece as well and lay this with the good side facing the back piece, so like the bad side facing us. Now we're going to sew these pieces together along these 4 lines.
So first about 1 centimeter from the edge with a straight stitch, and afterwards finishing the edges yet again with a zigzag stitch.
This is how all 4 stitches should look like. So after you've done that, the pieces are connected. You're going to get like the 2 tubes from before, and we're going to connect these tubes to the 2 front pieces. Right here, just on the end, again with a straight stitch,
and afterwards a zigzag stitch to make it look like this.
Now comes the tedious part, in my opinion. It is hemming the bodice. I'm going to do this by folding the edges inwards twice and then sewing it with a straight stitch. It's very important that you begin at the connection side of the tube with the bodice, because you want to align this hem with the tubes, because it just gives a way neater look. It looks more expensive, otherwise it looks kind of cheap. From here on, you continue folding the fabric and pinning it down. I am also using an iron to iron the fold, making it like more crisp. It's more clear. We're going to do exactly the same for the neckline. And after pinning and ironing it, we're going to sew it in. Now we're going to sew in the hem. I'm using this line here as my guide. I'm making sure the right side of my fabric is following that line so that the stitch looks consistent on the outside. So we are going to set the bodice aside and move on to the sleeves, because there are a few steps before. So remove the pattern piece and fold the sleeve open. We are going to begin with hemming the sleeves. We're going to do this the same way as we did with the bodice, folding the fabric inward twice, ironing, pinning, and then sewing with a small straight stitch. I'm using the same guideline as before,
resulting into this hem. Now we are going to fold the sleeve in half, good size sides facing each other. We're going to sew these two sides together once more with a straight and a zigzag stitch.
So it'll look like this. Turn it inside out and voila, you have a sleeve. Now we can grab the bodice, because we'll want to attach the sleeve to here. Fold the bodice inside out and place the sleeve in like this little hole. Now we're going to connect the edges. I'm starting here, where the stitches meet. So just do that for the whole sleeve, the whole round, so to say, like connecting the edges and pinning it down. My sleeve is a little bit bigger, so I'm sticking some of the fabric out some more so it matches. Well, this has actually happened before a couple of times, so if anyone has a good tip on how to prevent this, please leave it in the comments. It will probably help me a lot. So thanks in advance. Okay, moving on. Now we're going to sew it together. I'm going to remove the front part of my sewing machine so I can insert my sewing machine in the sleeve hole which enables me to turn the fabric around while sewing. I'm using a straight stitch again,
followed by a zigzag stitch.
After sewing, cut out the excess fabric. If you have some, I had some because it was too big. And that's it actually. This is the end product. Well, actually, this isn't the same one as I was sewing in the video because I gave it to a friend of mine. My tubes are a bit shorter because the fabric ran out of fabric. So your tubes are a little bit longer, so you can wrap it around once more.
You could also wear the top like this. I quite like it this way. Let me know in the comments which way you prefer. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions or tips. And see you next time. Bye bye.